He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
All right, we're back. We're on the air.
Back.
We're back. We're back. We're always back. We keep coming back. Now, everybody asked me, are you going to close? You're going to have no show over the Christmas break? Because, right, there's a point between Christmas and New Year's. It's like a week there, right? Mm-hmm. And we are going to have a show. I mean, we may be a combination of hungover or bored, but there's going to be a show. Okay, for sure. There's going to be a show. Actually, we have a special prediction show. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's the show my buddy Rob Campbell is in. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be just predictions.
Nice. Your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite.
Shittiest
business. Exactly right. So the crappiest thing in the world is prediction, and I'm doing a whole goddamn show about it.
Whole episode
of prediction. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, a lot happened this week. We'll dive in. Biggest thing this week was this incredible move by the Federal Reserve in the United States. So let's just get clear. There's central banks for basically every country. I don't know if there's a central bank for Georgia or Kazakhstan, or I'm not sure. There probably is. I'm not making fun of those places. Nobody get mad. No, don't send any.
We're just unsure.
Yeah, we're just unsure. Don't send any Kazakhstani assassins for me. Okay. I mean, like there may be central banks, but obviously we all, unfortunately, and I mean this sincerely, unfortunately, Canadians have to learn about what the Bank of Canada is.
Yeah.
Like, a friend of mine said something smart the other day. He said, you know what? We went through decades, nobody knew what the fucking Bank of Canada was, and now we just talk about it all the time. Okay, so that's not a good thing, right? Anyway, there's a central bank in the United States. It's got a fancy name. It is called the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, and it doesn't have a governor because they don't. That's kind of an old-fashioned British thing.
Sure.
It has a chairman. The chairman of the Federal. Well, it's like the Federal Reserve. That's their central bank anyway. And his name is Jerome Powell. Okay. So Jerome Powell made the news. He made the news this week. So Jerome Powell, for the last year and a half, has been, he's older than me even. Like, not everybody's older than me, but he is. He's 71, okay? So he's this crusty old bastard, okay? Like, he's crusty, and he's some protesters tried to invade one of his press conferences, and he just walked out and yelled at his assistant, "Shut the fucking door!" Like, and the mic picked it up. Like, that's great. I mean, I love that. Fuck you, protesters. Shut the fucking door. I don't care about these guys. Fuck them, okay? So he's an old, crusty, tough-ass bastard, okay? Jerome Powell. And he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and he's a hawk. Like, he called a hawk, like when you're being tough on something, tough on economics, you're a hawk. Okay, yeah. I'm talking hawkish on this. Like, I'm gonna swoop down and gouge your fucking eyes out. Like, I'm a hawk. Okay. So all of a sudden, out of the blue this week, he grows a set of dove's wings, and he becomes like that dove that you let go at weddings, right? You've seen that, right? Have you heard
No, I think we spoke about this last time, and you said you went to one recently.
I went to one, yeah.
That you saw the doves, and I was like, no thanks. Like,
I
don't want to risk some shitting
on me. It was outdoors. It was outdoors. Nobody's gonna.
What if it shits on me?
No, you can tell. By the way, that's a completely logical question. Okay, if I let go of doves at my wedding, are they just gonna fly around in a circle and crap all over us? Okay,
basically.
But the doves are trained. Like, I watched them. Like, no bullshit. Like, I watch it because I strangely, I thought the same thing you thought. Okay, like, I thought these doves are gonna fly around and crap.
Gonna shit on?
Are they pigeons? They're like pigeons. They're just gonna fly around and crap on somebody. Okay, but they don't. They just take right off in one direction. Like, I think they know where to go home. That's that's the thought I got. Boom! They just let them out and zip. They were gone. They were gone in one direction. So anyway, a dove is obviously the soft, gentle bird of love. Okay?
Yeah.
And So all of a sudden, Jerome Powell, this hawkish guy, I'm gonna rip your heart out. Okay, we're gonna fight inflation. We're gonna fight it. We're gonna wrestle it to the ground. I'm gonna beat inflation. I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna destroy it. And I'm gonna be tough. We're gonna have high rates, lots of high rates till you fucking inflation's fucking gone. I don't give a shit what you think about your high rates. You're gonna be high rates. Suddenly, boom. One day just comes. He just walks out and says, "Yeah, the rate hikes are finished." Rates are not going up anymore.
Full 180?
Basically, yeah, 100%. Like,
wow.
All of a sudden, yeah, they're no, we're not going to have any more increases. I think inflation's done. Still not quite where we want it, but it's headed in the right direction. We're done. And, yeah, there's going to be cuts.
Wow.
There's going to be cuts in 2024. He said there are probably 3 cuts in 2024.
Wow.
We'll keep an eye on it, but that's sort of what my expectation is. Boom! Like the world went crazy. Like everything went nuts. The bond market did a handstand and everything. Like seriously, Canadian bonds fell like a rock. U.S. bonds fell like a rock. Okay, like mortgage rates headed down. Okay, like this was like a goddamn miracle. Okay, this guy who's like the toughest bastard, old crusty old bastard geezer like me. Okay, but he's like slim and trim and he looks good. Yeah, fuck, 100% turnaround.
Wow. And
it was shocking, shocked markets. And it was so shocking, actually, that one of his, like, he's the chairman of a board, right? So they do have actual bank, like what they do is they have like, it's weird, their system. They have a series of so-called banks. There's actual buildings, okay? Like we don't do this at all. Neither does England or a bunch of the other places, but the U.S. is weird. It's kind of a historical thing. I won't bother with the history because everybody says, "Fuck, you're so fucking boring, man. You don't have to tell the fucking
mortgage show, not a history show.
You don't know your fucking history, man.
Shut
the fuck
channel.
up. Get to the mortgage." Okay, so anyway, they actually have different bank buildings. Like there's actually a Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta and New York and Dallas and a bunch of other places. Okay,
spread them out.
And there's like a boss person. Woman, man, different, all different, in each one of those banks. And I think there's 7 or 8 of them. I don't know. I'm not that good an expert. But they have a meeting, mostly on Zoom, and that's called the meeting of the Federal Reserve Board. Okay? So all these guys who run these banks in different places, and they take a vote about interest rates up and down. Normally the vote's unanimous. So it was a simple vote. This was just a vote that we won't change, right? But then Jerome Powell, who is like the hawk guy, and all of a sudden, I'm a dove now. And then but then the next day, I think it was the guy from Dallas or Kansas City or something. One of the Fed bank guys said, whoa, wait, no, I don't know about 3 cuts. There might not be 3 cuts. So in other words, it was so shocking that some of the other guys had to try to walk it back.
Wow.
Because it was so shocking. But I look at the bond yields this morning, nothing much happened. But like, this is big. And people might often say, well, what the fuck's wrong with you, Ron? Like, you're talking about something that goes on in the States like it was Canada. We're Canada. We got the Bank of Canada. We got Tiff Macklin. That's right. I am Tiff Macklin and I am in charge. We don't give a damn about this guy in the States. Hawk Dove, shut up, you fat bastard.
Hot dove.
Whatever. Shut up, fat bastard. Anyway, I'm telling the truth. Here's the truth. Like the Canadian and U.S. relationship in almost everything, but particularly in business and trade and economics and everything else, it's like a mouse sleeping with an elephant. Okay. The elephant does not have, by the way, I just said sleeping. I'm not implying anything else. Okay. Sleeping. It's a mouse sleeping in a bed with an elephant.
It's going to get crushed.
Well, maybe. Yes, absolutely. Maybe. But here's one thing for sure. The mouse worries about what the elephant does. Like if the elephant starts to move, the mouse pays attention. Right? But that's our relationship with the U.S.
Plays hand in hand.
Absolutely. It's our relationship with the U.S. Like if the U.S. economy does something, we're tied. If the U.S. if the U.S. Central Bank, Federal Reserve does something, we're involved. Okay? Because let's face it, every single time I comment about the Bank of Canada, there's like, in social media, there's like 700 responses that say, oh, what about the Canadian dollar? Oh, if we do something, the U.S. doesn't do it. What about the Canadian dollar? It'll go down. Okay, fine. So it will. So what? But here's my point. They are closely related, right? Just makes sense. So this huge move by the American Central Bank is big. It's like, and what happens? Well, immediately Canadian bond yields fall. Now, I've been running a seminar on these friggin' bond yields on this show for like eternity. Okay, so Canadian fixed mortgage rates, not the variable, not the HELOC, none of those things, nothing prime rate related, but fixed rates are driven entirely by bond yields.
Yeah.
And they took a tumble immediately. They took like a 25 basis, 0.25%.
Yeah.
0.25% was wiped away in like 10 minutes. Okay.
Crazy.
Big time. So that's where we're at. Lower rates, folks. There are lower rates now. I need to touch on this because every time I say that rates are going to come down, that the Bank of Canada will eventually cut, that, whenever I talk about this stuff, there's always the same 300, maybe 400 responses like, you don't fucking know nothing, you dumb fat fuck. I mean, no. I mean, these are all comments on all over social media. No, you dumb fuck. It's going to go up. Inflation's going to go crazy. It's going to go nuts. Rates are going to go way up next year. You don't know one fucking thing what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Okay? I got a lot of those last week. So my response to that is, first of all, in this typical Ron Butler manner, my response is like, you can all fuck yourselves.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you all. Okay?
Respectfully.
Well, I don't know how respectful fuck you can be. Okay, like I don't know. You tell somebody, I don't know how you say, well, respectfully fuck yourself. Like I don't know how respectful that is, but I have to. I want to just get. I keep saying this over and over. It's making me sick, but I got to say it. I am just the messenger.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you can fucking.
Yeah.
Okay, but don't physically shoot me.
Please
I don't even think you can say YouTube.
We'll bleep that out.
Bleep that out. Edit that out. Editor, go do something with that. But if you have to explain the facts as you see them, right?
Yeah.
It's just required. You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about it. If bond yields go way, way down, rates have to go down too.
Of course.
Now, that brings up something interesting because normally mortgage rates run very closely to these bond yields. Like if the bond yields go up, we watched it, right? We watched it. When was it? In September, October? They went crazy high. They ran right up. As the bond yields ran up, we watched mortgage rates. There was mortgage rates close to sevens. They're in a bunch of sevens.
It was really high.
Really high.
Yeah.
So, with bond yields down, like some of these bond yields are down almost 1.25, 1.25%. Some of these are down. Okay. So why aren't the rates down 1.25%? Because they're not quite down that much, right? They're down. They're down probably 0.5%. Like we were the first people in Canada at Butler Mortgage to offer high ratio below 5%. So, but there's a bunch of people now doing it. So there's tons.
We just did it first.
We were the first. We're the first. It's like, I don't know. I don't know whether how much important the first is when you're only the first for 2 days. But anyway, we were.
Yeah.
So why aren't they falling more? Like, why isn't there a direct correlation to as the bond yields drop? Why don't the rates drop in perfect harmony? Okay. People say, I get these questions all the time. Ron, why are the rates sticky? The rates are sticky. They're sticking high. Well, people come out and they say, fuck the banks. Banks are greedy. Fuck them. Like, they're greedy bastards and they just want to gouge us. And Well, if we're talking factually, banks like to make money, right? I mean,
it's business.
They are rich. Banks
They're
are
rich.
rich.
Just keep getting richer.
Rich and rich as rich can be. Okay, they are the richest companies in Canada. And those Brookfield guys are probably to get there too. But anyway, rich. They're rich. So they're in it to make money. Sure, they are. Absolutely are.
Yeah.
But they also compete.
Right.
They do. They just do. I mean, they're not going to want one bank. I've lived with these bankers for like 30 years. Okay, and they do compete. They compete a lot. Don't ever think it's not a conspiracy. It's not like the price of gasoline when all of a sudden you drive down the street and every single place, all the different companies, Esso, Shell, they've all raised to exactly the same gas price, right? Like that always bugs me a bit. That's a bit weird, right? Wait a second. You're both outside changing the sign right now at the same time. Like, why is that? So yeah, that bugs me a bit. But no, they really do fight. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
So why isn't it coming down? So there's sort of there's like seasonality to this stuff. Okay, so banks feel there's times to make a little bit better profit on mortgage rates, and then there's times where they got to fight like hell.
Right.
Okay. So the dead of winter, like November, December, January.
Are we fighting like hell?
No, opposite.
Just
because nobody's buying houses, right?
No one's moving in the winter.
Nobody moves in the winter
in
Canada. So, like try moving.
Yeah. Best of luck to you if you have to.
Yeah, exactly. Best of luck to you.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And particularly if you're in Edmonton or something, right?
Yeah.
Like it's 40 below while you're moving. So, by the way, we love Edmonton. All you Edmonton people, like when I say we love Edmonton, I'm sincere. Like my wife is from Edmonton. Like I married my wife in Edmonton. Okay. So I love Edmonton. Let's face it. A lot of, but it's fucking cold.
So you know firsthand how cold it really is.
Fuck is it cold? Okay.
I can imagine.
Like there's a reason they built the biggest mall. Maybe it's not the biggest mall still, but one time they built the biggest mall in North America.
The one with like the roller coasters and all that stuff.
Got the roller coasters,
it's huge,
skating rink. It's wild because the truth is, in the dead of winter in Edmonton, there's only about 3 or 4 things to do. Okay. Right. You can drink. Okay. You can go to the bar, and the bars there are big bars. Okay. You can shop, hence biggest mall in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And because it's indoors, you can fuck. Okay. But there's limited like, what are you gonna do outside? These people say, oh, you can go to Calgary and ski. Calgary's way fucking far away from Edmonton.
Yeah, it's like a 5-hour drive or something.
Yeah, and even to go to the mountains from Edmonton, it's a lot farther than Calgary, like tons farther. You got to drive a long, long way. And so, there's a ski hill. There's sort of a fakey ski hill. Like it's not like it's. Look, at 40 below, nobody goes outside. Okay, like a little kids go outside. Even a little kid sit back in like 10 minutes. Say, "Mommy, I'm freezing. I'm freezing my balls off." Yeah. So it's cold. So there's only a few things to do in Edmonton. Those are some of the things I just described.
Yeah.
I still like the place. People are really, really good people in Edmonton. They're some of the nicest, friendliest people in the world. Yeah. Down to earth people. So now that I buttered up Edmonton a little bit, getting over my attack of the cold.
Now that Edmonton's happy.
Now that I sort of brought you back after I told you it was the coldest place. All right. So what happens? You don't buy and sell houses much in the dead of winter, right? Right. But the spring's coming. Okay. So
spring's a hot time for the market.
Yes. Okay. So the banks know this. They want a customer. They want 2 things out of a customer. They want the checking account and the mortgage. They don't give a shit really if you're just a credit card customer. If you just like get your credit card from like say CIBC, but all your mortgage and your checking accounts with TD, CIBC feels like the redheaded stepchild. Okay, all you redheaded people, don't comment. Just don't. Just fucking stop it. Okay,
everything's just gonna come with a warning label.
Everything has to have a warning label because I've been doing this long enough to know that everybody wants to comment about.
Everyone's feelings are being hurt.
Yeah, whose feelings are being hurt? Exactly. Okay, so no, the CIBC, if it's just all it's got is a credit card, they feel like a redheaded stepchild. Okay. They think that they know the core banking products to have are checking account and mortgage because there's more stuff to sell. You can sell somebody a line of credit on their house, right? By the way, line of credits are profitable. Like prime plus a half is profitable to a bank, very profitable. Everything once you've got somebody checking account, you can go after them for every investment they ever have because, I know that they're not supposed to do this, and I'm guessing they probably don't. But somehow, the bank does know if you have $1 jillion in your checking account, and they will phone you up to invest in other stuff, right? Like we know this is true. So so they're going to go after you for RSPs. They're going to they just have the foundation to cross sell with you. 100% correct. Yeah. Okay. So they want when people buy that house, that's such a important event in people's lives that they say we want to get our hands on that mortgage. So when the spring selling season, spring real estate season comes, I can't even say this on the air anymore. I was about to say they dropped their pants, but you're not allowed to say that. Okay,
Ronald.
That's against the. That's Me Too stuff, right? I really can't say that, can I?
I don't know. Let's just stay out of it. Just to stay in the safe zone.
Yeah, stay in the safe zone. Okay. I watched this clip the other day on TikTok where one woman's mad at another woman, and she says, "Yeah, let me guess. You're gonna give him shit, but then you're gonna turn around and grab your ankles." Okay, so I thought that sounds bad too. I mean, that sounds really bad. Bad. But I mean, I don't want to get canceled, although probably I should be canceled a long time ago. But anyway,
it's okay.
The bottom line is banks want your mortgage business. Mm-hmm. They want that first home. They want that new home. They want that move up home. Mm-hmm. So when the real estate market is hot, banks want to have the lowest rates. They want to fight like cats and dogs. Okay. Yeah. Although really, I see more cats fighting with cats than I do see them with dogs. But anyway, my favorite video is when the cat baps. You ever see the video where the TikTok where the cat baps the other cat? Bap, bap, bap. I love that. What's wrong with me that I love that? I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, the reality is they fight. They have low rates then. So obviously, if you know the low rate season's coming up in February, let's make some fucking money now. Yeah, okay.
You're going to ride it out until then.
So that's one of the reasons rates are sticky, because they know there's going to be some real competitive times coming up.
Right.
And finally, there's some other little odds and ends too, like there's credit swaps are expensive. That's sort of inside of a mortgage. There's a little bit more risk premium today because the banks are putting aside more and more money for credit losses.
Right.
Okay? We've seen that all last quarter.
Yeah.
So it's a little less profitable. So there's a lot of things to stir the pot to create go into the mix and higher rates. But I assure you, eventually they will fight again and rates will be low again. Okay. That will absolutely happen. Now, I got this comment 1,000 times on social media last week. Oh, Ron, are you saying that real estate market is going to boom again? Is there going to be real estate frenzy in the spring?
Really? You think so?
Well, I don't really think so. But one of the things we know about last year was it was pretty busy in the spring.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was going to say.
Not last year. This year isn't up
yet. This year. Earlier this year, February was like hot.
Because the rates dropped, right?
Yeah.
So the rates dropped, the market heated up. So people are asking me online. They're saying, hey, if you're telling us these rates are coming down, and they will eventually come down. It'll happen. You're telling me these rates, won't real estate get really big again?
Won't we see a repeat?
Yeah, exactly. See a repeat of the spring.
Yeah.
Okay. Repeat of the spring, next spring. Okay. So let's think about that for a minute. What's going to be different this year? So what's different this year is probably that there might be a recession. There might be difficult economic times coming up. Because after all, why did Jerome Powell turn from this grizzly, sharp hawk, like he's hawkish guy, why did all of a sudden turn into a dove in one day? Okay. Because he probably knows that the economy things aren't going great. Like he sees a lot of information. They see more information than we will ever see.
Of course.
So it's what I know because I've been through it. I've been through it in 1990. Yep, I am that old. I'm really, really old. 1990. I got a bunch of people saying, wait a second, was I born in 1990? I wasn't even alive. Okay. So yes, 1990, we went through this in Ontario. Similar idea, rates went up. Market was really on a huge tear from 1986 right through to 1990. And then it went dead. It was dead. And it never came really back to life until 1996. It was just flat. Probably down, prices were down like 28%. Some of the condos worse, like 35% price reduction from 89 to 90. So it was bad. 1990 through to 95, 96 was bad. Is it the same? No, because we didn't have jillions of people coming to Canada.
City wasn't as dense as it is today.
Yeah, it's not as dense, and there's not as many people coming. There's tons of people coming. And immigration is huge now. It wasn't that hot back then. But it was also a shitty economy too. There was a bit more unemployment. Things were in the dumps. And if the economy's in a bad enough state, will the real estate market really go on a tear? I don't know.
True.
I don't know if that's going to be a big effect. I have noticed this though. a lot of times you hear, again, in social media commentary, they say, well, there's all kinds of investors.
Right.
There's investors just waiting on the side, ready to dive in and buy a ton of houses, okay? As soon as the rates go down, they're going to dive in. Well, I'm starting to question that. You know, I'm starting to question, because they weren't investors last time. They were like regular home buyers.
Right.
I'm going to question the idea that investors, they might really need rates that are more like in the 2s and 3s.
For it to be more profitable.
For it to make sense. Yeah, exactly. To be profitable. Exactly right. So maybe we will see that and maybe we won't. Okay. I don't know. Here's what I will tell you. In 2021 in Ontario, and I think British Columbia as well, I'd say British Columbia and Ontario both, I think in 2021, 40% of every purchase was an investor. That's big, right? That's huge.
That's huge.
So if you carve that down, yeah, I believe the spring will be busier because it is literally deader than dead now. Okay, like it's this dead market, dead housing market. It's going to be a bit better, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be terrific. I don't think terrific is back. Which brings me to a great story that turned up in the Toronto Star this morning. Okay. It talked about, and this is a really interesting topic because it talked about these companies buying, like big corporations, buying single-family homes.
Right.
And in the States right now, there's a bill before the U.S. Senate to ban hedge funds from buying single-family homes.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. So,
but that's so common.
Like,
as in big companies buying a bunch of single-family homes. It's not something
well,
new.
It's very, very common in the States. Has been.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when it started. And this is actually a guy who died 10 days ago. This guy named Charlie Munger, who's like with Berkshire Hathaway. And Charlie Munger was based in California. And when the whole mortgage disaster happened in the States in 2008, some homes in California fell in value 50% or more, like half price.
Yeah.
Okay. And Charlie Munger, because they're all billionaires at Berkshire Hathaway, right? They're billionaires, billions and billions. Okay. He just started to step in and buy these houses, buy these distressed houses at 50% off price. And people said, well, why are you doing that? The mortgage market's screwed. He says, well, I can get a mortgage. Like Berkshire Hathaway can get mortgages. Matter of fact, we'll be the bank and provide the mortgages. Who gives a shit? Okay.
It was like a clearance sale for him.
Exactly. So, and he made a fortune, and it's been popular ever since.
Right.
In the States, it's very, very popular to do this. Okay. Now, we know that companies own buildings in Canada, right? Like they own commercial buildings.
Right.
They own hotels. They own they own multifamily rental properties, like rental apartments.
Yeah, like low rise, high rises, things like
Yeah,
that.
particularly high rise. Yeah, particularly, and a lot of that's really old stock, like it's from the 1960s, 50s. Really old stuff. Okay, it's owned by something called REITs. Okay, real estate investment trusts. They have some preferred tax treatment for those companies. They're trusts actually. So that's fine. Nobody wants to ban that. I mean, REITs are important. REITs provide what little rental stock we have, like professionally managed rental stock, purpose-built rentals. And nobody's talking about getting rid of that.
Right.
That's all good. What the U.S. Senate is pissed off about, and I don't know if it'll pass or not, but it's a bill before the Senate, is they don't want these hedge funds and investment firms to be buying out jillions of single-family houses. Because the thought process is, how the hell can ordinary people compete with billion-dollar hedge funds?
That's fair. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
There's a certain houses are hopefully meant for people to live in, right?
Yeah.
For people to own and live in, pay off the mortgage. You got your nest egg for retirement, all that old-fashioned stuff that makes
Set yourself up for your future, basically.
Exactly, 100% correct. So if you've got a limited supply of homes like we have in Canada, do we want big corporations, investment corporations, to step in and buy the homes? Okay. Interesting thing is there was this article in the Toronto Star talked about a company called Core Development. Now, Core Development announced back in 2021, it made quite a stir, that they were going to buy 4,000 single-family homes as investments and turn them into rentals. Okay. Right. Or they were going to convert them to duplexes, or they're going to renovate them, whatever. Well, Turned out that was a little bit of bullshit. They didn't buy 4,000. Okay, they only bought like 550. Okay, and then they stopped. They bought them because the prices went crazy in 21. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so you couldn't make any money at rentals if you're paying too much for a house. By the way, these are all in small towns. You know, like Brantford and small towns around Toronto and in other parts of Ontario, because you need to get the price down to make it work. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But now they're saying we're going to build now the guy shows up like last week and says we're going to buy 10,000 of these. Okay, well you said you were going to buy 4,000. You only bought 550, so 10,000. What are you going to buy? 1,000.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or maybe you're not going to buy any. But let me just say this straight out. I do not agree with any big corporation, investment organization, hedge fund, whatever you want to call it. I do not agree with that in Canada, of them going out and buying single-family homes.
Yeah.
I'm against it. We have tremendous problems with getting young people homes in Canada, young people buying homes in Canada. We don't need this as one more fucking problem, right?
It's another barrier for us to be able to become homeowners, right?
Exactly.
It's already so hard as it is. Why make it harder?
Haha, yes. So if you want to ban that shit in Canada, I am good with it. You can ban that shit if you want. As far as I'm concerned, you can ban that shit.
Ron Mortgage Guy, stamp of approval.
Yeah, stamp of approval on banning. It's funny. Like sometimes I don't mind putting the stake through the heart of stuff. I want to put the stake through the heart of you fucking Airbnbs. Fuck you all, you Airbnb people.
God, all these Airbnb people are coming for you in the comments.
I don't give a shit. I will stand up to you.
Hurt.
I will stand up to you, Airbnb bastards and bitches. Okay, see, I'm trying to do both genders carefully. Meantime, 1,000 people are saying we gotta cancel this guy. Yeah. Cancel.
And they won't even cancel you for that, just because you said there's two genders. They'll cancel you for that.
Two curse genders. I got to use two gender-oriented curse words. So we're gonna get rid of that guy. I hate Airbnb.
Yeah.
Because it's and I get there's always the same bullshit. Oh, you just want to favor hotels, you dirty bastard. Okay, do you own a lot of hotel stock? I get that too. You must own hotel stock, you dirty fat fucker. Okay. Well, no, I don't own any hotel stock. None. Zero. Just like you said. You said it perfectly. Another barrier to young people
achieving
homes.
home ownership.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, Airbnb was taken advantage of.
Sure it was. Illegal hotel room. That's what it was.
So it's and people are still.
You even told the story about you took advantage of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I admitted my wrongs. Obviously, people were upset about that, but I'm not ashamed. I was young. I don't care. It happened. But it's
and you cleaned up all the beer bottles.
And I cleaned.
Yeah,
I cleaned everything.
Yeah, you cleaned everything. Right?
It's just the point is that when something is taken advantage of, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse to a point where it's too much. Right. And now we're at a point where things break. Yeah. And we're at a point where we have no homes in Canada and we have thousands of people arriving daily. And it's there's no space for such thing in that to the extent that it got to rent out a whole home by itself. I understand the convenience. I love Airbnb, use it to this day, but renting out a whole home when there's people who could be living there long term, it's come on.
Yeah, and like we said before, we're not opposed to the cottages and ski chalets and all that stuff that's generally, legitimately for a holiday. I don't
resort area, whatever.
And in your own home, if you want to,
if you're living there and then you have space to rent out, sure.
100%.
Wasn't that the original purpose of it, anyways?
That was exactly what it was. As a matter of fact, all of their advertising was for that. When you listened to Airbnb ads, or you watched Airbnb ads, it was Airbnb ads. That's hard to say really fast. Airbnb ads, advertising.
Yeah.
It was all aimed at, here, let's ask Gloria. She rented out rooms in her house to be able to afford her mortgage. And, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
No sweat with that. But this thing about buying 13 little tiny micro condos next to the stadium
CN Tower and things like that,
or for a concert, and you're obviously everybody who has Airbnb condos for that 5 days of Taylor Swift. I mean, they've already booked it, right?
Yeah.
And they raised the fucking rates through the roof. Yes, the Airbnb is normally $800 a night, and for the Taylor Swift concerts, they will be $8,000 a night. You have no fucking place to stay. You have to stay with the homeless people in tents. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an illegal hotel room. That's all it is. So yes, and so should we ban huge corporations from just hoovering up single-family homes, even if they're out of the city, even if they're far away in Ontario, even if they're older homes that need fixing up? Let's have the young people buy those homes and fix them up. Okay, what the hell's wrong with that?
Yeah. I'll become handyman-y if I could afford a house. Shit. I'll do what I can if I could afford it.
If it makes it affordable, I'll learn how to drywall.
Yeah. Suddenly I can do tiles. Like,
look at that. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, everybody's up against that.
Yeah.
So this sort of brings us to our favorite part of the program.
What the actual fuck?
Yes. And I am fucking livid about a topic I've talked about before, but I gotta come back to it because it drives me fucking crazy. Okay. The Landlord Tenant Board, the fucking Landlord Tenant Board in Ontario, and I'm told the same problems in BC, some problems in Quebec. Like, there's problems everywhere you go. There's problems with these things because it's not properly run. Okay,
it's a mess.
It's a fucking mess. It's fucked up, and it doesn't work. Look, like I say this again. There's bad tenants. There's bad landlords. There is. Okay, but can we please sort the fucking stuff out? Okay, like, look, I'm gonna make it really simple. If there's a hole in the fucking roof, yes, the landlord should fix that fucking hole, and they should be made to fix the hole.
Of course.
If the landlord pretends that they're bringing their family in to live in the unit, they're kicking out the long-term tenants, and then 2 weeks after the so-called family moves in, they're advertising it again for double the rent.
Yep.
Fuck those landlords. Fuck them. Fuck them hard. Not in a good way. Like, nothing good about it, okay? Same with tenants. If you purposely know that you're going to quit paying your rent...
Yeah.
Because you know the Landlord and Tenant Boards
protecting your ass.
But just fucking 6 months to get a hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Or 8 months or 9 months.
It's like 12 months now.
12 months?
Yeah, I swear. Because there's just so much. They're so backlogged.
So look, that's out fucking rageous. And let me make this really, really fucking clear to the Ford government in Ontario and to all the governments across Canada. By the way, I'm not even that opposed to rent controls. I'm not, a lot of... I got these like fucking really angry landlords who come in. Well, we got to get rid of rent controls. No, I think rent controls might be okay. You're a fucking fat communist, you bastard. Okay, like Jesus, I hear that.
The amount of times I see the communist comments.
The communist comments come all the time. You're a fucking communist. Okay, look. I mean, like, can we please just understand that when people pay their rent on time, if for some reason you feel you can increase rents by like 25%, that doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Okay. And people need a place to stay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now, all that being said, this tenants not paying is the fuckedest upest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Like, if you say, okay, well, I know the Landlord and Tenant Board is so screwed up. I'm just not going to pay my rent, and you can't throw me out. Nothing you can do. So I'm not going to pay. I don't care about your mortgage payment. I don't care about your property tax.
And there's people who are vicious with that. Like, they will just every 6 months or 8 months they're moving because they just paid first month last, and then they just live for free for 5 months, on to the next, and then they're just fucking people over. Like, it's vicious.
Fucking vicious. So in my small pea-sized brain, I say, this is the most important thing to fix in the province. I'm going to set aside all the roads never getting finished on time. I'm going to set aside the construction in Toronto.
Forever potholes.
Or where the construction in Toronto is so fucked up.
Yeah.
There were so many roads closed. There's more closed roads than open roads in fucking Toronto, okay? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I'll even set that aside. Hey, Ford government, listen carefully. Nothing is more important to you guys than to fix this fucking Landlord and Tenant Board. I just realized you just had to You just closed the legislature down for about 11 weeks because you need a long break because you're tired. Fuck you all, okay? Fuck you all. Get the fuck back in the new year and fix this thing. I don't care. Fire all the bosses, start all over again.
Figure it out.
But, or, take your budget. You got some surplus money hiding in some places. You got surplus money hiding away somewhere. Mm-hmm. Take that fucking money and hire good, solid people. By the way, don't hire a bunch of professional bureaucrats like, yes, you're working for the government now in the division that does no work. And so we're going to move you from the no work division to this little tiny work division at Landlord Tenant Board. No, don't fucking do that. You know who you hire? Hire old property managers. That's who you hire. Hire property managers. Hire people who deal with tenants and landlords every goddamn day.
Yeah.
I don't even give a shit what you pay them. Just say, I'll put you on a temporary contract. What are you making now? 150. I'll pay you 175. It's only for a year. I'm just bringing you in to help fix things up. Yeah. Okay. Just get some fucking knowledgeable bodies in there. Okay. Streamline all the bullshit paperwork. Hey, how about this one? How about have the fucking office open more than 3 days a week? Okay? Like, seriously, they got pictures of the people coming to the locked door on Monday. You can't get into the fucking place. Okay?
Are you fucking serious?
Monday and Friday, it's fucking closed. There's nobody in the office. Okay.
Oh, my God.
So, okay, open more offices. Like, wake up. Wake up, Ford Nation. Wake fucking up, Ontario provincial government. This is the... but Ron, I don't think it's the most important thing. Hold it. It's really, really fucking important to fix this Landlord and Tenant Board.
100%.
Because it has to be done, right?
And it's a domino effect, right?
Exactly.
Everything that happens has an effect to the next thing. And just keeps going.
Yes.
And people don't see the bigger picture.
That is so fucking true. Because you wonder why some properties are left empty? Because if you had that super horrific experience with one tenant,
you'll never do it again.
Or you might say, well, I'll just leave it empty. It might go up in value. Or I'll maybe try to do that horrible thing that I hate, which is Airbnb. Okay.
Yeah.
And or you might say, well, I'm going to sell it. And then you sell it. And then you just another poor new landlord who doesn't know that could be bad. And then they try to rent it out. And then all hell breaks loose with the tenant. By the way, I'm not just saying they're all bad tenants. That's not true. There's tons of bad landlords. But let's just get this thing straight. You can't have a landlord and tenant board that won't fix it for landlords when the tenant stops paying. And you don't want a landlord and tenant board that takes 6 months to address the fact there's a hole in the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want shitty service for everybody. Like, for everybody gets shitty service, terrible service, okay? Fix it, fix it, fix it. We got to fix this goddamn landlord tenant board. To your point, you're 100% right, Jan. Domino effect. If you fix it so that landlords know and tenants know they've got an efficient 2-3 week turnaround. Fuck me, imagine going from 1 year to 3 weeks. Can you imagine?
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. But if they knew it, if everybody knew it, that there's an efficient, effective, intelligent, run by smart, efficient people who give a shit.
They wouldn't fuck around as much as they do.
And don't fuck. They would stop. Everybody would stop because they say, you know what? In Ontario, you can't fuck around.
Yeah.
They're smart, they're tough, they're efficient, and you got to follow the rules. Okay. Yep. And that domino effect then reverses. And the landlords say, yeah, I want to have more long-term tenants. And the guys in Airbnb say, well, fuck it. I don't want Airbnb anymore. They fix the landlord and tenant board. Let me do that. Exactly. The people with empty homes say, well, if it's safe to rent, I can rent now. I mean, because it's dependable.
Then everyone's happy.
Well, they're sure as shit happier than they are today.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is just fucking pissed off at the world.
Oh,
okay?
For sure.
So that's, anyway, folks, thanks for listening. Great show today, because there's nothing I hate more than the fucked up landlord and tenant board. And I got that off my chest again, because no matter how many times I talk about it, it never fucking gets fixed. But folks, rates are going down. And that's the final word I want to get out today. For all you people who are mad that rates are going down because you think it might push the price of houses up, I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't. But listen to me on this one. We got millions of Canadians scared of their renewals. Yeah. Scared about their mortgage renewals. So let's give those people a little bit of relief. Come on, be fair. That's the right way to go. See you next week, folks.
See ya.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.